So now we're going to get into the areas of my strengths with the between the strength finders assessment and the 360-degree leadership assessment. I also don't think I mentioned it in the previous section when we went over the 360-degree leadership assessment results, but most of the areas where I personally rated myself and the respondents' assessments, they were very alike. There weren't many, if any, instances of me overrating or underrating. The only areas where there was an issue of me underrating and they rated me higher was when it came to motivating people. So like selling ideas and motivating others, I gave myself a 3, and the respondents gave me 4s and 5s. So I guess I'm a little bit better, or people perceive me as a bit better at getting people on board and selling my ideas to people and motivating them than I thought I was. But for the most part, um, the ratings that I gave myself and the ratings that the respondents gave me, they were accurate. So as far as my strengths, when I look at the 360-degree leadership assessment and kind of look at the domains that I got, the intellection, input, ideation, and learning, I can see where a lot of my strengths overlap. For example, I want to get into where I got a lot of the 5. So for vision of the organization, I think that definitely goes into that ideation, having big ideas for where I work, and just really having the ability to communicate my ideas to people. I got that I'm a strong communicator, and ideation is also a strength. So I think it makes sense that 80% of my respondents agree that I do have, a pretty clear vision for the organization. You know, everyone said I was a good communicator. That makes sense because I got communication as I got the influence under the domain of influence. So that makes sense. Being out and about instead of being cloistered. That makes sense. I'm a communicator. Communicating well and communicating frequently. I think the communicating frequently lines up with the intellection, the learning, so I'm following up with you. I'm saying what we need to do next. I'm trying to speak to you about that. I like to talk about that. Getting your input, getting my input. So it makes sense that I would communicate frequently because I like to speak about what's happening. I like to speak about my ideas. Um, Understanding the organization. I'm a learner, so if at some point I don't understand, then I'm going to try to figure out more. And that makes sense because in the Strength Finders assessment, it talked about how I like to collect information and then present it at the time when it's useful. So having all this information from all these people that I work with and then going home and saying, okay, so I'm working with defects, I'm working with Georgia Perimeter, I'm working with, the AU Center, I'm working with the Refugee Committee. These are the different things that they do, these are the services they provide. And I'm able to tie all of that into how it can help the community at my unique school. Being close to the organization, it makes sense because you can't communicate well with people. You can't motivate people. You can't sell your ideas and be impactful if you're closed off. So I had a previous school where it was just extremely stressful and I was closed off. And I, I remember when I was talking about it in the Strength Finder discussion, that kind of like that sponge, I soaked up a lot of good material and I had a lot of good ideas, but I didn't share them with people because I wasn't close to the organization. But now that's different. I'm very close to the people, not like very, very close, but close enough where I could support them and they feel that I am a part of the school community. Narrow view versus broad view. It makes a lot of sense. I'm a big thinker, and I said that when we discussed it in ideation. That is a strength of mine. Being curious, that goes back to being a learner. Like they said in Strength Finders, I'm a learner. I am a teacher that's always learning, and I believe the best way to learn is to teach, right? Teaching is learning. So it makes sense that almost everyone gave me a 5. Only one person gave me a 4. Being promoting change. I got 4s and 5s on this one. And it goes back to the ideation. I don't like status quo. Things need to be different if they need to be different. I'm not going to continue to uphold practices that just don't serve, their time is up. They don't serve a purpose in our organization anymore. To promote change and to have people see you as someone that promotes change, you have to be willing to take a risk and you have to be confident. And I got all 5s in that. I think I'm a confident person, but like I said, it has taken time to get that. You have to get the support. So that was a strength of mine. Selling ideas. Everyone thought I could sell ideas and get people on board, and I think that goes back to that influencing, how I got communication. You have to be able to communicate what you need. I call it talking people's language, right? So I need the same thing from my PTA president, and I need the same thing from my principal. But how I relay that need, that delivery, that presentation is going to look different. So, like for example, we need a vision clinic, and my principal was just really committed to following COVID protocol and not having people in the building. Okay, but the goal of school is to help children learn and to help support them get grades, and they can't do anything if they can't see. So I had to present it as, okay, well, test scores can really severely be impacted, and the health of our children is really going to decline. And I don't even really think I said health, because unfortunately, not that I'm not going to say she doesn't care about the health of the students, but that's just not the language. She has her bottom line with her boss and her other boss. And unfortunately, that's just test scores. So I had to present it as, well, test scores are going to be severely and negatively impacted if children can't see. And I'm getting emails, 5 kids in the class, children had parents that lost their jobs. So that means the health insurance is gone, which means they can't get vision exams, which means it is a very likely possibility that we have a lot of children without access to glasses. Boom. We're having a mobile vision clinic. When I was speaking to the PTA president, it wasn't even that difficult. All I had to say was, our children need glasses, and I'm going to need some assistance if they don't provide free glasses, with the PTA helping us fund low cost to free glasses. I will need, if they don't provide it, I will need the PTA to give me help to buy children glasses, because children need glasses. Every child deserves a pair of glasses if they need it. And every child deserves a strong start. And it starts with vision and hearing. They loved it. Had a spirit wear fundraiser. Collecting money if we need to buy glasses. And I just got the email yesterday. We won't have to buy them. They provide a free first pair. Because I'm always hopeful that when you do the right thing, even if it puts resistance in the relationship, even if you are the Lone Ranger, but you believe in the idea, you have to believe in the idea. If I don't believe in my idea, no one will believe in my idea. And you have to believe in it to the point of you might isolate yourself, because the universe works. and it'll always work out. And now my kids are going to be screened for free and get free glasses. Now everyone's all on board now, but I know it was an uphill battle, and I wasn't going to take no for an answer. So I can sell ideas. I see how the communication in Strength Finders helps me get a lot of ideas off the ground, and I see how I'm able to use different language, use different wording and vocabulary with just different groups of people. I'm able to motivate people. That's that communication and intellection. And, I got a 500% of my people said I know how to talk to people. I don't really know how much else to say about that. I am a talker, but I have worked so hard to be like this. I don't think people would ever believe me if they knew I was just goodness. When I was younger, teachers would tell me that I took no initiative. That was just always a comment that I got. I'm shy and sensitive and always crying, and I can't even pinpoint when the changes started to occur. I mean, I think, just growing up and, you become an adult, but I think I had to have an honest conversation with myself, like that intellection and learner trait. And I have an honest conversation with myself and just ask myself, well, what type of woman do I want to be? Do I want to be an adult, one of these adults out here that just goes with the flow and doesn't express their needs? And I didn't want to be like that. And the older I get, I realize so many people feel the way I feel, but they're fearful and they're scared. And I'm not going to live my life scared to say what I want to say. I'll always be respectful, but I always live my life for me. Even in my family, sometimes I tell, like, my grandma, she's a grandma. She likes to, be involved in all of our lives, but even she understands. She'll be like, Thea's gonna do what she wants to do. My parents understand I don't live my life for them. They cannot live vicariously through me. Every mistake I made is just because of a choice, and every good thing is just because of a choice. But I definitely have a lot of ownership over my personal professional life, and I think that comes from that intellection and my ideas. I'm just so committed to my own ideas, and I really just believe in myself. I believe that good things happen to people who believe in themselves. I believe that if you do right by people, good things will happen. Detail versus big picture. So I got a 1-3, 1-4, and 1-5, but it makes sense because in the ideation portion of the strength fighting discussion, we talked about how sometimes I can get a little too creative, and my imagination can just really lift off, and I need someone to kind of take my balloon and pop it and bring me right on back, get my feet on the ground. I can see how some people think I'm big picture. And I really think that there's strengths associated with being detailed. And we'll talk about that next in the next portion. We talk about some of my weaknesses. I'm so amazed everyone thought I was a good delegator. But I think that goes back into the input, trying to think about what I need, thinking about what the organization needs, having the intellect to try to have a plan, logically thinking about the steps. And so when you do all of those things, you realize other people's strengths, and you realize you don't have to do it all on your own. And then you realize you're not good at everything. And then you can solicit help. I got 5s in confidence, I got 5s in taking guts, and I got 5s in admitting mistakes. And I think that is a big part of being a learner, because I know what I don't know, and just trying to be more vulnerable, and I don't blame people, and I just I think communication might be my strongest thing. I think communicating can really just take a person anywhere.